Hello, beautiful creatives. It is Mychele with Inner Journey Studios. And I am so excited because tonight we are going to be doing this super fun and whimsical Frida Kahl-owl. Get it? Kahl-owl. I'm so excited to do this. It is a fun, whimsical, um, really super cute owl that you can go crazy with using colors and designs and mark making. So feel free to make it your own. I'm going to take you step by step on how I did this one. But feel free to add your own little whimsy to it, your own little designs, your own little marks on it, however you want to do the eyes. Hello. And I hope you will excuse me tonight. Hopefully, please let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay. I have had a cough all week, a little bit of a cold going on, so I am working really hard to be able to talk today, and hopefully you can hear me okay. I think I'm a little softer than usual, but fingers crossed. Oh, yay. Yes, you can hear me. Yay. Thank you. So I have to tell you first off, do you love my hat? It is bananas. I got this yesterday when I was with my family out at Epcot, and I saw the bananas and I had to have it because bananas. How fun is that? And to tie it in with Frida, my little Frida doll. She had her little monkeys who, of course, love bananas. So that is why I'm wearing my little banana hat today. I'm feeling a little kooky. So Frida's going to be hanging out with me painting today. I'm going to have her off to the side. She's very excited about our owl also. So without further ado, I am going to share my screen with you, my studio view. There we go. Right here. And let's go ahead. Let's shed some light on this. If I can get some better lighting there. I think that will work good enough. All right, so let's look at the colors that you're going to want to have tonight on hand. Now, you can use any colors you have. It does not matter. I'm using Deco Art Americana paints tonight, but use whatever you have. You don't have to have the same ones as me. So let me go through the colors that I will probably be using tonight that I used on this one. Although, you know, sometimes over in the moment, we might change it up a little bit. But I've got Mermaid Tail. This is probably one of my favorite Americana paints. And then I've got Tuscan Red, my favorite red. These two particular colors I absolutely love. The Tuscan Red and the Mermaid Tail, like these are go-to colors for me. The rest of the colors, you know, I'm like, I can take them or leave them, you know, use other colors if I need, but those two I love. Okay, so then we have a magenta, deep ochre, dioxazine purple. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, and I'm okay with that. It's purple. I'm using black. This one is lamp, but any black you have will do. A Hauser light green. Again, any light green you have will work. A primary blue color, and this is just a nice dark blue, you know, kind of like a royally, just a very true blue color. And then I have a cadmium yellow, cad yellow, which is one of my go-to colors also. This and the ochre, these are two of my go-to colors also. I also have a white. And because what would a painting be without a little glitter? I love my craft twinkles from Deco Art. These are the crystal. This is my favorite. I buy this. I won't say I buy it. Oh my goodness, I can't even talk. I'm getting so excited. I'm like tripping over my words. I won't say that I buy it by the caseloads, but I do buy several at a time when I buy it. I love this stuff. All right, so those are my paint colors. I've got some tracing paper, my tracer, my art journal. I'm using just a art journal that has some watercolor paper again. You can use whatever you want. Deanna, hello, beautiful. Thanks for joining tonight. You can use canvas, you can use your art journal, whatever you want to do yours on, you can definitely do this on. I've got my brushes, of course. I think I might have something to trace with. If not, I'll just use the end of my brush. And then what else do I have? I've got a stencil. I'm just going to use a little stencil. This is totally optional. What else do we have? Paper towel and water. And I will probably use a marker on here also. So that's it for supplies, pretty basic. I also have a little Coca-Cola to sip on to help my throat. I don't know that it helps my throat, but please tell me it does, because I don't drink soda very often, but when I'm not feeling well, I'm like, oh, I need Coca-Cola. It makes me feel better. So don't ruin that for me, okay? All right, so let's get started. Let me know in the comments who's painting with me tonight. Oh, and of course, I've got Frida. I shared her with you earlier. Frida's going to be painting with me tonight. I love her. When I taught high school and middle school art, I used to have Frida with me. She was like our classroom mascot. And so she still hangs out with me in my studio on a regular basis. Alrighty. So I'm going to start by taking my tracing paper. Now, if you have not used this, I know many of you are seasoned and accomplished artists, so this will be no big deal. You already know how to do this. You've probably already done it on your surface. But if you're new to art, if you've not done this before, this is one of the tricks that many of us artists use to get fabulous paintings. Is we take our image and we trace it onto our canvas. And what that allows you, it's a little magical. You can draw this once, and then you can use it multiple times on different paintings, different backgrounds, on canvas, in your art journal, wherever, but you've only drawn it once. So I don't love drawing. I probably shouldn't admit that, right? But I don't. I love painting. I love that part of the creative process. So I like the idea of doing it once and using it over and over again. And that's what we're going to do today. So I put my carbon paper, my tracing paper, my graphite paper. I've got the shiny side. You see how shiny that is? We're going to put that down towards the paper, towards our substrate. Now I'm going to put it on there. And I'm going to take my tracer. I printed this off. This is the one that was provided when you signed up for this challenge. By the way, let me know in the comments, have you painted any of the other owls yet? Oh my gosh, they are the cutest. I've had my family here all week, so I haven't had a chance to paint any, but next week I'm going to be dipping in and I cannot wait to try them out. They are so super cute. So what I did is I actually did this at, I think I did it maybe at about 50 or 60% when I printed it. So I got it a little smaller to fit into my art journal. Now, if you're using a bigger substrate, you won't need to worry about that. But I was using a smaller one, so it's another one of those little tricks that we do, is that you can use, when you print off your printer, you can size it up or down to get your sizes a little different. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. So by the way, if you have not allowed StreamYard to see who you are yet, please do. It's really awesome because then I can see who I'm talking to. But I have a Facebook user, and she says I'm a little behind, but I do them as I have time. Raise your hand in the comments if you are the same way. I'm right there with you. I have not had time this week to do them, so I'm going to be doing them next week with you. So whoever that is, you are in good company. I'm going to be there right with you. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and trace this. I don't know where my little stylus is, so I'm just going to use the back of my paintbrush. Little pro tip there. And I just come around, and I like to right away make sure that it's coming through, which it is, nice and dark. So I'm just going to go around my lines. I don't worry about getting this precise because usually when I'm painting on that, I end up ad-libbing a little bit. I try to get it as close as possible. I go pretty fast with mine. I love this owl. Oh my gosh, this is the cutest. And there's so many possibilities. So I hope that you take what I show you, what the other artists show you. I hope you take it and make it your own. Like really have fun and do your own variation of this. One of the things that I love about working in an art journal, which is what I'm doing tonight, is that I don't have to worry if I get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to worry if it's good or not because it's in my art journal. If I love it, great. I can reproduce it and, put it on something more permanent to display or sell. But if I don't love it, that's okay too because it's in an art journal. This is where I play. This is where I have fun. So speaking of fun, let's go ahead and start. Now we can see that we've got all kinds of colors going on here. So what I would like to start with is I'm going to do a little bit of blue. I'm just going to lay down some blue as the background of my owl because that is a lot of her is blue. Now I'm going to lose most of my ears here and that's okay because I want to put flowers on. If you are familiar with Frida Kahlo, you know that she often is seen wearing beautiful flowers in her hair. So I took a little bit of liberty from our Love Blooms challenge that we did last month. If you have not participated in that, go ahead and check that one out. It's pretty awesome. So I did a little liberty and I'm going to do some flowers inspired by that. So I'm going to block those in here. And all I'm doing is little squiggles. I want to do like 3 right up front here. And then I know I'm going to do like some smaller ones here. And I'm going to do a couple here. Let's see what I have going on. Here we go. And you can see I'm just like, these are not high art, y'all. I'm just squiggling them in there. That's all. I just need to get a little bit of stuff blocked in. And then we'll have some leaves coming out here. We'll do some leaves up here. And I know I'm going to want a few up here. So all I did with this is I literally just, it's like a circle, but I just squiggled it. And I'm going to fill it in with paint, so I'm not really too worried about how that looks because I know that I'm going to be painting over all of this. The leaves that I do are so easy. We're just going to curve it up and curve it up to point there. This is like the kind of leaf that you would have done back in grade school, right? Just a really simple leaf. I'm not worried. I don't need it to be exact or perfect. So now what I want to do is lay down some blue. I'm going to take some of my primary blue here. And I'm going to add just a touch of white to it because I don't want it quite this dark. So this is just my primary blue. We'll take a little bit of white. Nancy, I did not say where I was from, but you are probably picking up my Midwestern accent a little bit. I've been in Florida Central Florida for a gazillion years now, for like 25 years. But my family is all from Minnesota, and they have been down for the last 2 weeks visiting. And I suspect I have picked up a little bit of the Midwestern accent, and it's probably mixing with my Southern Florida accent now. So I've got a little of y'all in there and a little of like Fargo in my voice right now. Plus I have a cold. So I got a lot going on right at the moment. But I love that question, and I'd love to hear, where are y'all from? Let me know in the comments where everybody's joining from. Sorry, I'm going to have to take a lot of sips tonight just to keep my voice going right now. So I'm just mixing up a little bit of blue, a little bit of white to get a lighter color, because I just want to lay down some colors. Now, I'm not going to do the wings, I'm not going to do the eyes, and I'm not going to do the nose or the feet, but I'm going to do the rest of the body just to get a little bit of color in there. This is the base color I want to be using for this little guy. Now, I am on watercolor paper, so mine is going to be really thirsty. It's going to want a lot of paint. And I'm just painting fast. We do not have to be overly neat right now. We just need to get a little bit of color in there. I'm adding a touch of water just because I'm on watercolor paper, and that will help it to flow a little bit. Oh my gosh, Nancy, you have moved 16 times. That's amazing. Well, you probably really know how easy it is to pick up on different accents and words and tones depending on where you're living. I love Texas. Texas is a fun state. In my other life, years ago, I used to be in Texas a couple times a year teaching henna classes. I used to be in Houston and the Dallas-Fort Worth area teaching for some belly dancing conventions that would go on. And that was a load of fun. I had so much fun doing that. Good times. I have excellent memories from Texas. All right, so again, I'm just blocking in, not blocking in, I'm just putting down the main color. A lot of this is going to get covered up with other colors we're using, but I like to just have a base color down that I can work off of. I'm not going to worry too much about covering these up because we're going to be going over those in a little bit. Let me know in the comments what you're going to be doing your owl on. Are you doing an art journal like I am? Are you painting on loose paper? On canvas? I would love to hear what you have going on. All right, so we're almost done with this little guy. This part of him. And thanks again, if I haven't said it already, thank you for joining in, whether you're listening live or you are listening on replay. I love that you are here. I love you're taking time for yourself to enjoy creating art for you. It's so important that we take this time for ourselves to really nurture ourselves a little bit. We often take the time to give to everybody else in our life, but we don't always do it for ourselves. So I love that you all are here taking some time for yourself. And for the record, I personally think I hope that you all are painting with me or will be painting this. But even if you don't, even if you're just here to watch, I personally think that that is valuable and that counts as art time as well. Because often this is the time that inspires our art, whether we're doing it with the person or not. So thank you for taking the time for yourself and being here. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. If you are new to StreamYard, please give StreamYard permission to see who you are. There should be a little link that is in the description that says give StreamYard permission, something like that. And what that does is then when you comment, it allows me to see your name, because otherwise I see it as Facebook user, which is okay. But I always love to say hi to whoever's watching. It's just a little more personal. So now I'm taking the magenta and I'm just going to color in his sweet little wing. I'm just doing a coat of magenta here. I say he. I keep saying I'm painting Frida, so I guess she, her wing. Oh my gosh, this cough. I don't know if anybody else has gotten this year, but oh, this cough is just relentless. Mm. Okay. Yeah, it may just be that it hasn't caught up on my end then if you gave it permission already. That is okay. I will see who everybody is when I'm done. I always love to see the comments that you're all making, so it's all good. All righty. So I'm just taking this magenta and I'm coloring it in. Just on here, you can see I've used like this magenta color here. Excuse me, just a minute. I'm going to mute myself. I'm so sorry about that. I've got a cough drop. I'm drinking fluids, but this cough is just is what it is. All right. So what I was saying is I've got this magenta here, and then once this is all dry and we've done what we're doing here, then we'll go back through and we'll do some detail work in there. And then I'm going to take that same magenta and I'm going to come around the outer edge of the eyes. Oh, isn't it pretty? I love this too. It's magenta by Americana, and I just think it's such a pretty color. I often will use it on its own. I also like to mix it with red sometimes. And I use it like the red and the white to create a whole other color. All right. Oh, Nancy, what are you painting right now? I would love to hear what you have going on. I'm always so inspired by everybody else's paintings. It's fun to hear all the different things we've got going on. It's fun being on an art journey, isn't it? It's like every painting we do, we learn something from, we grow as artists, we learn to express ourselves in whole new ways. I love that about art. It's like I think I could do this a gazillion years and still have more to learn. It's just an amazing hobby, skill, profession, whatever it means to you. It's just amazing to be on this journey together. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of purple here, magenta, a little magenta here. And I think that is all the magenta I'm going to use right at the moment. Now for the eyes, I'm going to we're going to get some of our dioxazine purple. It's just a fancy way of saying purple. That's all. So this is the purple we're using. I don't know that there we go. You can see it maybe a little better there. This is like a purple, grape purple color. Let me bring this out so you can see it. So this was the magenta we were just using. And now we're going to use this purple. And I'm going to get a different brush. I feel like I'm going to use a round number 4 because I want to paint. Oh, I want to add a little white to this though. That's right. I want this a little lighter. I'm adding some white to my purple. Look at it. It gives such a nice lavender color when we do that. Alrighty. I'm just gonna bring this around on our beautiful Frida owl. Let me know in the comments who are your favorite artists. So I am a big fan of Frida Kahlo. That is no surprise. She is one of my favorite. I love the colors she used. I love all the self-portraits she did, all that she overcame in her life. She was really an amazing woman. But I would love to know, who are some artists that you admire? And if you want to share why, that'd be great. But even just their names would be wonderful. So my eyes are a little wonky. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can. It's pretty obvious. And you know what I say about that? Awesome. Because when it's wonky, now we're going to have fun with it. When we go to do the drawings and stuff in here, I just want this to be totally whimsical and totally fun. And that's what we're going to do with this. So we are going to leave it all funky like that. And now I'm going to bring some of my cadmium yellow, fancy word for a bright yellow. Oh, Nancy says she's doing a potted flower bouquet and plans to make the flower shapes with words. That sounds gorgeous, Nancy. Oh my gosh, that sounds just beautiful. Very clever to do it with the words too. That'll be really nice. Georgie O'Keeffe, yes. Oh my goodness. Love, love, love her work. I was just reading more about her the other day, some of her earlier works and kind of like the progression of her as an artist. She's just such a fascinating woman, especially for that time period. Very independent, spirited woman. So inspiring to read about other artists and to learn about their journeys. Eric Carle, Patricia Polacco. Oh, I'm not familiar with her. I'll have to check her out. Dr. Seuss. Oh, Dr. Seuss is so fun. Excuse me. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to mute as much as I can when I cough, but sometimes it just comes on fast. So I hope you will forgive me tonight as I just push through and keep on painting, because that's what we do as artists. We just keep enjoying the process. Dr. Seuss, I love taking his artwork and using it in my art journal to like inspire combinations of color and freedom of design and stuff like that. It's so much fun to use his work as inspiration. Oh, Sam Taft. Yes, very nice. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is incredible. If you are just tuning in, we're just talking about artists that inspire us. And I highly recommend taking a look at what people are recommending. And if there's somebody you don't know, grab that name and Google it and learn a little bit about it, about that person, because it can be so inspiring when we look at other artists. Even though we might never paint like that, or we might never aspire to be artists at, different levels, just hearing about their journey and how they worked and what their process was can be so inspiring. And that's why when I was creating Frida Kahl-owl, it was just so much fun because I was really inspired by the colors that she used. And I used some of her paintings to pull colors from to use in what we're doing tonight. So it's not an exact replica. It's not exactly what she used, but it's that feel of the beautiful colors and the vivid saturation that's often found in her work. And it's fun to do that within your own artwork. Oh, Jan Brett, yes. Nancy, she is one of my favorite. I loved reading those books to my kids when they were little. Her books are just so gorgeous. All right, while we are waiting for all of this to dry a little bit, most of it's pretty dry, but we're going to just bounce around. We're going to bounce up to the flowers on the top of her head right now. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Tuscan red, and I'm using this full on red, red, red. I really want that deep saturation of color. And I'm doing basically just my biggest 3 flowers I'm going to do with the red. Now, I'm going to do all my flowers basically the same. These are very whimsical. They're very much in the vein of the ones I did for the Love Blooms challenge. And basically, I am just, it's like a round circle with just a little, what do we call it? Just kind of some meandering lines around it. So it's not actually a circle. You can see there's like some curviness going on. And that's what we want. Just some wiggles. There we go, wiggles. Now I'm going to end up putting 2 or 3 coats on it. And I'm not going to worry too much. You know, we've got like some color mixing going on here. Well, we're going to put more coats on, and we're going to have some other elements added into these flowers. So that is going to be just fine. Make them a little bit bigger. Now, we can go ahead. Okay, I'm back. And now I'm going to do some yellow. Now, for this yellow, I want to add just a touch of white in with my yellow, because I don't want it quite as, I want it bright, but not full on cad yellow bright. Adding white also creates a little bit of an opaqueness, which I also love. And actually, first off, I'm going to do a layer on her beak right now. Forgot to do that before. Just bouncing around, but that's okay. That gave the blue a chance to dry. Okay, look at us go. I love it. Let me know in the comments that you can see. I think I have this all in frame, but can you see my art journal? I think you can see everything okay, but definitely let me know for sure in the comments. I always like to make sure I'm in frame, because I know sometimes we get working and things shift and it's like, whoops. Let's get a little more of my cad yellow here. Have you been enjoying the owl challenge? This has been such a fun one for me. Oh, thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know. I thought it looked like it was okay, but I found over the years it's best to kind of check in occasionally. I'm loving this owl challenge. It's so much fun to me to see how artists can take the same basic image and just create completely different pieces of art with it. I'm just adding in some of my yellow flowers now. I'm going to put a little few here. You can see right now they're just blobs, right? And that's okay. Okay, it's coming together. Oh, Vicky, I always love your paintings, Vicky. I cannot wait to see how you do your Frida Kahl-owl. I know it will be fabulous. It's always fun to see what you create and your take on things. By the way, I don't know if you can see on this side here, but I use my paper towel to brush off the paint before I rinse it in my water so that the water doesn't get totally crazy. Here's a fun little pro tip for you. If you like doing mixed media, hold on to this because once it dries, you can actually use bits and pieces of this to glue it into your mixed media pieces, like cutting bits out to make flowers or backgrounds or that can be really awesome. So just a little, that's just a little bonus I'm sharing with you tonight. Oh, Vicky, I cannot wait to see it. I think I saw one of yours earlier. I need to go back through. My family has been in town from Minneapolis, and let's see, Minneapolis. My sister's in town from Mexico, and my other sister and niece are in town from Alaska. And my mom's been here from Minnesota. So we have had just like a big party for my daughter's graduation. Everybody's been here for the last like 2 weeks or so. So I've been trying to keep up with what's going on in the group, but if I'm being totally honest, my attention has definitely been more on family this past week. All right, let's go ahead and let's start filling in a little bit around here and up here. So I want to start with, let's see, what did I do here? Yeah, let's go ahead and start with her eyebrows. All right, I'm going to go back to my purple. And we're going to just take this full on. I'm going to use what brush am I going to use? Let's use a number 6 round. And I'm going to use this purple. There's a little white mixed in there, and that's fine. And all I'm going to do now, Frida Kahlo was very much known for her eyebrows. This is one of the characteristics that when people think of her, they think of the eyebrows connected here, kind of that unibrow. So we're going to just have fun with that with our owl. And we're going to do a little feathery, very whimsical. This is probably not at all based on how an owl looks, but it's fun. I'm going to start in the center. So right here is my center, right about here. I'm going to go around the eye, and then I'm just going to fan it out. And I can come back and add a little more paint here. Let's get a little more of my purple. This is the dioxazine purple. Don't worry if you don't have the same colors as I am. I like to share the colors I'm using because some people like to, know exactly what colors. But honestly, I am a big proponent of using what you have. Okay, we're just creating. Oh, this even got a little more wild than my first one, and that is okay. I'm just kind of getting this out a little bit. This definitely is a little wilder than my first one, but that is just fun, isn't it? Bring this down a bit. Oh my gosh, so cute. So cute. Love it. I know. Isn't she great? I don't know if you heard earlier, but she was the mascot. Here, I'll hold her up here. She was the mascot in let me bring her so you can just see her for a minute and then I'll go back. She was the mascot when I was teaching middle and high school art. I had her in the classroom with me. Look, she's got her little monkey. Oh my gosh, how adorable. So she used to be in the classroom with me all day long, every day. And the kids loved her. She got tossed around a lot. We used to like toss her to answer questions. I would toss Frida at them, whoever's turn it was to answer. We were wild. I'm a wild woman, y'all. Wild. Okay, so moving right along. Let's see what we have going on here. So here's what we're working on. Look at how good we're doing. Let's go ahead now and add some of our little feathers. Now, this, we're just going to have fun. All we're doing is layering colors. And think of the neckline here. And we're just going to do, I've got my number 6 round. And all I'm doing is just pushing down. So I put some paint on, I push down and I pull up. I push down and up, down and up, down and up. And I'm just going to do that, coming all the way down, staying on the body. I don't want to go off too much. I actually don't want to go off at all. I want to stay within the body. And some of these can overlap a little bit. And I'm starting with my purple. And then up here, I'm just going to bring a little color down and around. A lot of this is going to be covered up here with design, but we want to get a little bit of non-blue up in here. I got a little on the side. I'm not worried about that because I'll be putting some background in there in a little bit. I'm just going to keep bringing that around. All right, let's let that dry a little bit. We'll let all of this dry. And please excuse me while I keep drinking because I got to keep my throat a little okay here. All right, now what I want to do is actually, let's start in the center here. I'm going to bring in some yellow. So we've got our yellow, and let's do our white. There's my white. A little more white here. And for this, I'm going to want a little bit of a thinner brush. So I'm going to do kind of a liner brush. This is a 0. Let's see how this works. Mix some yellow and white. And I want to do a little, like a flower. So what I'm doing is I'm setting it down, dragging it up and coming up. Now I'm using this as my center right about here, and I'm creating petals. Some more yellow. I set it down, I push it down, and then pull it up towards the center. And that gives me a nice little petal shape. This is where you can really start to get creative. Maybe you don't want to do something like this, and that's okay. You can do a whole different design in there. I just love this little flower shape. I'm going to put a dot there just so I remember that that's my center I'm working towards. I'm going to push down and pull up. Look at how she's coming alive already. I love that. And I've got all this yellow on my brush, so I'm going to actually just come in and add a little bit more yellow to my flowers, just to make those colors pop a little bit more. Okay. All right. I went just to the view of the studio for right now because I am having some coughing fits. And I just don't think y'all need to see me when I'm coughing. So I'll try to get that on mute when I do. So again, thank you for sticking with me through this tonight. All right, I'm feeling pretty good other than this nagging cough going on. And again, we don't want these to be round. We definitely want to have like some wiggliness around the flowers. So just be careful when you do them that you don't get them round. All right. And while we're waiting for some of this to dry, let's go ahead and get a little more of our red. So I've got my red, and that's that Tuscan red again. And we're just going to blob a little of that in here. And now that's just really popping out now. I love that. Okay, so let's go ahead. We've got our blues and purples seem to be drying nicely down here. So let's add some more color in here. And I think the next one I'd like to do is a little of this mermaid tail. Y'all, I love this color so much. I find an excuse to use it in almost every single painting I do. So we're going to use a little of that. I'm going to mix a little of white with it. To get this nice tealy color. Isn't that gorgeous? And then let's do the same thing right in here. We're just going to start bringing some of that teal in. And we're going right over the purple. So right now we just want to add some layers and some colors. And I'm also going to just kind of throw a little in here, just very lightly. Well, I will tell you, Nancy, if you love turquoise and teals, if you use any of the craft paints, you will probably love the mermaid tail because this is such a great turquoisey into a teal color and it mixes well with so many other colors. This is like one of my go-to. Really, really highly recommended if you like those kind of colors. Oh, Vicky, thank you so much for watching tonight. I look forward to seeing yours and thank you. Yeah, I think this cough is, it's just been lingering for a couple of days and I think it's just time of year and that. It's really the only thing I've got going on right now. So it's got to get better soon, right? Have a great night, Vicky. Thank you for joining tonight. All right, so now I want to let's do some of these little white dots going around our pupil and not our pupil. What is this? Our eye. And then we'll do some of this. We'll go back into our mermaid and we'll do some of these little scallops going around. These are fun to do. So let's start with some white. Let's get some white on its own, not mixing with everything else. Okay. And all I'm going to do, I am using, let's see, a size 4 round. And all I'm going to do is take some dots going right around. You could also use the tip of like this part of your brush. Whoops, let me bring it in. You could use that in your brush as well. But I'm just going to use the brush itself for this. And again, this is where you can get really creative. You don't have to do it exactly how I am. You could use different colors or shapes or, you could do lines. There's so many different things you could do here. I'm just kind of keeping it simple, doing some circles. All right. And then I'm also, while I've got this white, I'm going to go ahead and do a little white right in the center of our pupil there. What do we think? She's coming alive, isn't she? She's really starting to pop. It's a fun painting to do because it does go so quickly once you get going with it. All right. We're going to let this dry a little bit more, and we'll come back into that there shortly. So let's go ahead. That same brush we just had, the number 4. I'm going to go ahead and take some of my white with my mermaid tail to make that pretty teal again. Love how versatile this mermaid tail is. It's such a gorgeous color. All right. And then what I'm going to do is bring it all the way around. So I'm just going to tap it down. I'm not doing a circle exactly. So how I'm doing this is I'm taking just the tip and just kind of setting it down. So it's just the tip sets and it deposits this color to make the scallop. And what we'll do when it's all dry, we'll come back over it with a marker to create more of the definition so we can really see the scallop. Okay, here we go. Don't be afraid to move your art around. To be able to get it at the angle you want to work with. There we go. You want to get a pretty good amount of paint on your brush when you're doing this. Otherwise, you get little thin lines, like what I had going on here. And we want it more thick. We want it more round. The tip of the brush goes right at the base of the magenta. And we just press it down a little bit and pull it right up. All right, so we're almost there. And then that's all going to dry, and we'll come back through and do some more details in that once it's all dry. But for now, let's go ahead and rinse off our brush and move on. All right, now in here, I'm going to bring some yellow because I really want to get a little pop of color in here. So we definitely get some more color, so it's not quite so dark. But in order to get the yellow to really stand out, we're going to have to mix it with some white, because yellow on its own is going to be very transparent. So to give it a little bit more of an opaqueness, let's mix it with some of our cad yellow. Okay. And I'm actually going to put a touch of the ochre, deep ochre in there, just to get a little more depth in the color. Yeah, that's nice. All right, so that's kind of the color I'm mixing here. And then I'm just going to start bringing that in. On the edges, you can kind of swoop it in a little bit, like you scoop it a little bit. So instead of straight up and down, it curves in a little. And that can just give a little bit of, sorry, I get painting and I lose my thought as I'm talking. That can give a little bit of feeling of the shape of the owl, so it's not all up and down. That's what I was trying to say as I got lost in my painting. And I also do some long and some short. So I've got some fat ones, some short ones. Oh, she's looking cute. Okay, moving right along. All right, let's go ahead and let's play around. Actually, let's do the background next, and then we're going to do the flowers, her little paintbrush down here, some details, and then we're done. So for the background, on this one, I did kind of like a blue with some purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the mermaid tail again, but I'm going to mix a lot of white with it because I want this to be lighter. And I really want this to make the rest of her pop. So I'm making this quite light. And this is just mermaid tail with white. And to me, this is kind of mimicking, or not mimicking, but symbolizing her blue house. It is not the color her blue house was, but in my mind, that's kind of what I'm doing. Frida Kahlo had a beautiful blue house. I think it's Azul, Casa Azul, I believe it's called. And if somebody knows if I've said it wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments. But I believe that's what it was, where she lived, and beautiful flowers. And she created a lot of her works there. So that is why I chose to do this pretty blue in the background. It's kind of a tribute to that. So I'm not mixing it solid. You can see there's still some white in there. There's going to be a little dark in there. And that is exactly how I would like it. Oh, Gail, how are you? I'm so happy to see you. It's always such a pleasure to see you pop on. Tell me what you are up to tonight. So I am, as I'm doing this, if you can see, I'm kind of doing like choppy strokes, and I'm not trying to cover it 100%. I want there to feel like this painterly feel for it. And what I mean is I want to be able to see these brush strokes. I'm also okay if some of the white shows through on this. You know, I'll get it as close as I can coming into these feathers and whatnot, but if it's not 100%, that's okay. Because I like how that gives kind of a weathered look, if you will. I'm just getting in there a little bit. I'm using a 1/2-inch flat brush for this. And again, I'm not trying to cover everything exact. I'm okay if the color is a little uneven. I will probably even add some other colors in here because this is looking a little too one color for me. I really want there to be some variations. We'll take a look at the end and see. Just going to pop this around like this. And around here, I'm really not overly concerned because we still have a lot of leaves to throw in there, and we got a lot that's going to be going on right in this area. So make sure if you do one of these inspired by what I've done for you, maybe this inspires you to do one of your favorite artists. Somebody had mentioned um, Dr. Seuss earlier or Georgia O'Keeffe. Wouldn't it be fun to do owls, using them for inspiration or any other artists? But if you do, please feel free to tag me. I would love to see what you've done, and I hate to miss anything. It's so much fun. Oh, thank you, Gail. I appreciate it. So definitely feel free to tag me, either Mychele Boardman and or Inner Journey Studios, so that I can make sure I don't miss anything. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of white in here just because, like I said, I don't want it to be too homogenistic with the colors, if that's even a word. It might not be. I'm just touching a little white in here. Does anybody else ever make up words? I think I do that sometimes, not intentionally, but you say something because it feels like it should be a word. Okay. And then I'm also going to add just a touch of stenciling, just to give a little something. This was not in my original one, but it's something that tonight I had thought, I think I want to add this on. So I'm going to use this. What is this? It's a 3/8 inch kind of a stencil-y brush. And when I do a stencil, I do not use much paint at all on it. So I put a little paint on and then I offload most of it. And we'll just see how that works. I think I need a little more than that. There we go. That should be better. There we go. That gives us a little bit of design. So I don't want to do a whole lot of this, but I do want to do just a little bit, just to add a little extra visual interest for our owl. I do not know what stencil this is. I'm pretty sure I probably got it at Michael's a gazillion years ago. But they always have stuff like this. I love these nondescript background ones that are just, not really necessarily anything specific, because they can be used for so many different things. All right, see how that kind of just adds a little tower background. As I was setting up tonight, I was like, oh, I think I want to do that. And then let's go ahead and let's do just the tiniest. Let's see how this might work or it might ruin it. I'm going to use a little bit of the primary blue. I think that's okay. But I'm not going to do this on all of it. Okay. We just have a little bit of, oops, let's see if we can get some decent light on there. Just a little extra design going on. And now, I like that. Frida is coming together, y'all. She is coming together. Let's go ahead and add. I think we're going to do some of her leaves. So now with the leaves, I'm going to go and start with a little darker of a green. So I'm going to mix my mermaid tail. Actually, we've got, let's do this here. Little mermaid tail, a little bit of our yellow ochre, and a touch of black. The black is going to be a very small amount. So what we're going to do, get that out of the way. There we go. I want to mix that ochre yellow, just creates this really nice green color with the mermaid tail. And then when we add just the smallest amount of black, almost none, it just gives a nice deep green color. Just a little bit more. Okay. And now I'm just going to add in, that aside, let's add in some leaves. And these leaves are super simple. I press it down and bring it to like an arc. And then I press down at the base again and bring it on the other side. So we'll bring it down and around. It's like an oval, but with points on each end. And I'm just going to put them where it feels like maybe there needs to be just a little filling in going on. I think that's enough for right now. Let's see right here, maybe. All right. And then let's add a little of this light blue into the breast of our owl. This was the mermaid tail that we used in the background. We're just going to add a little here, a little bit of pop. Oh my goodness, she's so cute. And now let's start to make these flowers come alive a little bit. I'm going to take my white. And I've got my number 4 round. And I'm just going to squiggle in a little bit of definition for our flowers. So now we're doing a squiggling in. So let me show you on this yellow one. I start in the center and I do a little squiggle. And then I do another one coming around. And I just get them a little bigger as I go out. And that just helps to give some definition. Let me see if I can bring this a little closer for you to see that. So I've got right here, I'm going to bring it in the center. And then around. And I just kind of keep building out to bring that little bit of, it gives it petal feel, like real organic feel to it. There's not really any right or wrong way to do this. We're just going for a nice whimsical look. Like that. And while some of this is drying, let's start our paintbrush down here. Now this one I'm just going to do, let's bring him up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so while those are drying a little bit, let's come down here. We're just bouncing around, and that lets everything dry the way we need it to until we're ready to do some detail work on it. So down here, we're going to do a little paintbrush. And I'm going to go ahead and take, let me find my brush. We'll use the number 4 round one again. Now this is going to be super simple for a paintbrush. So first off, we need a little bit of brown. I'm going to go ahead and mix that. I'm going to take a little bit of this green that we mixed here and a little bit of purple. Let's see if we can get this mixed to a brown color. Not I'll pull a brown out, but I think we can get a brown going on. Let's get a little more red. All right. Hold on just a second. I'm going to make this easy for all of us. I'm going to grab my burnt umber. Sometimes I can mix that brown, and today's not that day. So we're just going to use a little burnt umber. And life is easy. I feel like I can mix brown anytime when I'm not trying. All right. Let's use our burnt umber, and I'm going to add a little black to that. There we go. Nice dark. So all I want to do with this is I want to create a little paintbrush that Frida is sitting on. Of course, I want to make sure that the owl's sitting on it. There we go. You can certainly draw this in if you want, but it's basically just kind of a straight line. Make it a little tapered on the end here. And then here, oh, I need to back up. Oh my gosh, Gail, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, I have lost something here. There we go. Okay, I backed up and then I lost it completely. Sorry, guys, give me just a second. I'm not sure what is going on with this right now. Huh. All right, hold up. Are we there again? Okay. I do not know why my phone just started acting up when I tried to switch it up. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, here we go. I am back on track. Okay, thank you for your patience. Some nights my technology works and sometimes I'm not sure what's going on. All right, so what I did with this is I went ahead and I just freehanded with my brush. It's a number 4 brush. I just freehanded. Let's see if I can get some light on there. There we go. Doing this just basic stick shape, and it's tapered a little on the end here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm using my yellow, the one that we mixed earlier, that just has some of the ochre with the cad yellow and the white. So I'm using the same color that's in here. And I'm just going to do some bristles. So it's like a paintbrush. I want it a little wider here and then bringing it to a point. Look at our cute little paintbrush. I love it. All right, and now we're going to use a little bit of a silver or a gray. And I'm going to do that by taking some of my black with some of my white. Actually, I need a lot of white to get my light silvery color. I used way too much black, but that's all right. That'll work. And for this, I just want to kind of put a little ferrule here. There's that little silver part that holds our bristles in. Look at how cute. And now we have a paintbrush. I'm just gonna, since I've got some of this gray on here, let's just go ahead and add some of our marks. There we go. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. All right, so we have got it coming together here. She's so fun. All right, let's take a look. What are we missing? You know what? We're missing some magenta in here. So while we're waiting for some of this other stuff to dry up, we're going to do a little bit of our magenta. See if I have any left on here. I do, but I want it a little wetter. So let's go ahead. Get some nice wet magenta in there. And let's bring in just a little bit to make her pop. And this part of her, you can do so much with that. You can use any colors. We're just layering it just to give it like a little feathery feel. Wanted it to be very whimsical and fun and all of these great festive colors. All right. I think we are good. It is fabulous. We're going to take some yellow, cad yellow, our nice bright yellow, and a small brush. And let's go ahead and paint her beads on here. I'm going to give her a nice necklace. I'm doing it in the center right now. I did the center one. I really wanted to make sure that I was getting the slope going the right way with the necklace. And now I know that I can go right in between here. I can see I started these too small, but that's okay because we can just make them a little bigger. Perfect. Oh, I would love that, Gail. That would be amazing. Can you send that to me in Facebook Messenger? Would that work? Or if you need my email or whatnot, just let me know and I can send you that. I'm excited to see the image that you got. All right. Wow. Look at what we have going on here, y'all. She's amazing. I love it. Okay. So moving right along, I know that time is a ticking between all my coughing spells and whatnot. I'm going to show you, this is one of my favorite markers to use. It's a Uniball Vision. It's fine. It's waterproof. It's fade proof. And I love using these for detail work in my art journal. It's so much fun. But here's the thing. You want to make sure 100% that your work is dry before you use this. So I'm going to start using this just in this area for right now. And all I'm going to do is do some little spirals. And I'm going to do this all in her wing. Now, you could do other designs in here. You could do line work. This would be gorgeous with some line work. You could section it off and do like some doodle tangle type stuff in here. There's so many different types of looks you could do. I'm doing this. It's nice and fast, and it gives, let me bring this down a little bit. It gives this just nice detailed look in there. And I think that can be so much fun. But you could totally go to town and do all kinds of different types of design work that you wanted in there. I'm going to do that over here also. Just make sure, like I said, that before you take a marker to any of your art journal pages, that the section that you're using the marker on is really dry, because otherwise you will end up ruining your markers. You definitely don't want that. I hope you enjoy doing this as much as I am. I love this challenge with the different owls. I love the idea of making different owls that look like different artists, like a Van Gogh would be fun. And I mean, just so many different ways that you could do an owl artist, right? Could be so much fun. So I'm just using this to do a few little outlines right now. And then I'm going to outline her wing. Yeah, I'm going to be careful though of those little guys. And do little scallops on her wings. You can see how quickly some of this little detail work can go. You can be as intricate or as freeform as you want with it. And that just gives like a little bit of, thanks, Gail. I will definitely check for that and see what that just gives a little bit of laciness to her wings. And then this stuff is pretty dry, so I'm going to go ahead and I want to define her eyes, these flowers. So I'm just bringing the definition. See how fun that is? This is the stuff that I think I could get lost doing. Just doing all this fun little detail work. Now you could use any kind of marker with this that you have. It doesn't have to be the one that I have. As I said earlier, I really encourage you to use whatever materials you have on hand to create your piece of art. And then I also share some of my favorite, because I know I'm not alone that some of us really enjoy gathering art supplies. Anybody else that's watching, do you enjoy art supplies, trying new things out? I always say that I'm not going to buy anymore. I've got plenty of art supplies. I'm not going to buy anymore. And then I watch somebody and they're using something and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not going to buy anymore, except I'm going to buy that one more thing. I may like my art supplies a little bit. All right, I'm going to put a little dot in here. You can see how she's just really starting to come alive now. how the details really start to make her pop, if you will. And now I'm just bringing the scallops around. Remember earlier where we did our mermaid color? Look at how fun! I can't wait to see what you all do with this because there are so many possibilities with how you create all the little designs going around her, all these little details. There are so many different things you could do with her. And let's go ahead and define her beak here. Just going to do all I'm doing is following around just to create some line work there. Now you could totally do some of this with a paintbrush also. But I kind of like using this marker. And then let's do just some little feather type tufts here. Again, you could totally do, this is like little U shapes that I'm doing. And you don't want them to be like linear, where they're lined up. You want to kind of scatter them. So I've got like 1, 2, 3, and then I do this one between these two, kind of. You see that? That way it's a little off. I'm going to darken these a little bit so they have a little more drama going on. We are getting to the end, y'all. Thank you for staying with me for all my coughing fits and all the fun. I've been looking forward to doing this all month long with you. I love owls. I love Frida Kahlo. I was so excited to share this with you and even more excited to see what you're creating. Okay, here we go. These are still a little wet, so I'm going to let those be for right now. Let me see where I am with things. Okay. We are moving right along. I'm going to add a little bit of light green in here now. I'm going to take my Hauser green. And we're going to just use that straight up. And let's just add a little dimension to our leaves. I'm just going to go over my leaves with some of this Hauser green. And I do that because it gives them some dimension. That way they're not just a solid dark green color. This gives a little bit of visual interest for them. And basically just going over what's already there. I'm just going to throw in a little of this green in here. I have a little bit left on my brush. I'm not going to go over any of the black lines, but just add a little of that green in there. Look at how nice that looks. Okay. Let's go ahead and take our thin brush again. And I'm going to take some white. I'm just going to bring in some details. Just kind of make some things pop here. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we are. Let's get a little on those, not pearls, but our yellow. All right, y'all. We are right there. Now I'm gonna add a few little details. In frame still, excellent. Oh, Nancy, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. You have been here the whole time. I really appreciate it. Using either a brush or like I'm using my Uniball marker right now can really help to give some definition to your flowers and to your leaves. Now, not everybody likes doing all of this black detail work, and that's fine. You totally don't need to do it. I personally love the way it looks. And I'm just doing like little squiggle lines to help to bring, let's bring this down a little bit. So you can see to help to bring some definition to my flowers and my leaves. Now remember again, you want to really make sure the stuff is dry. Before you start bringing your marker in. And just be gentle with yourself. Remind yourself that you're doing this for fun, right? This is just whimsical, it's fun, it's cute, it's expression. It's a way to express yourself using paint, playing in your art journal, and just having a good time with what it is that you are creating. It doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It can just be just something fun that you do because you love to express yourself with art. This would be really cute in a kid's bedroom or, I don't know, even in a living room or something. Oh, y'all, I don't know what's going on with my phone tonight. I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can figure this out. Whoa. Well, that's not a view any of us really wanted. All right. I'm going to go ahead. Let me, oh, there it is. All right. Hold on. Give me just a minute. Sorry about that. All right. I do not know what's going on with my phone tonight. It has blacked out on us a couple of times. So I don't know if it's me. It could very well be user error. I don't know if it was something else, but you know what? We're right at the end anyway, so it's okay. I'm going to just hold this up and show you the very last step. Okay, so here is our Frida Kahl-owl. Kahlo. Kahl-owl. And the last thing I was going to do was some twinkles on her. And all I do with this, I just actually put a little bit on my palette. And then I'm just going to use my fingers to put it on. That's how I do that. So for the very last step, I'm going to put some on the roses. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just using my fingers. And listen, if I can do this like this upside down and not really being able to see it, you all will definitely be able to do it well. Okay, so I've got some on the flowers. I want to put some on her wings for sure. Let's put some there. See how nice and sparkly she is. And I really feel like maybe not as much, but doing in the motion that we did with the feathers to give the feeling of the feather feel itself, but not the whole thing. So like right around where her black ones are. I hope that that makes sense. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I do not know what is going on with my phone tonight. And then I put some in the center. And that's it. That is our Frida. Thank you so much for being here. Please let me know if you have any questions. I am so grateful for you. You all have been wonderful. I cannot wait to see the art that you make. I appreciate your patience tonight while I was trying to talk with this cough. It was not ideal for any of us, but I appreciate you sticking with me. And I cannot wait to see what you create with your Frida and all your other creations that you have going on in the Owl Challenge, the Cheerful Owl Challenge. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to Inner Journey Studios. I would love to be part of your art community with you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.